Firing on all cylinders. There's no way I'm going to be able to repronounce how I titled this video. I did it to fool the algorithms to make sure that I don't drive any additional traffic to this YouTube channel. But for kicks and giggles, for whoever watches this at any point in the future, I figured I'd address this little topic of the day, um, the Delta variant of Trumpism. Um, a man by the name of Van Jones. I don't know who that is. I don't really care. But whoever his whoever his controllers are, um, they know what they're doing, and I'm going to explain what they're doing. I'm going to give an angle, a little bit of an insight that you might not have considered. I got distracted. I'm looking at. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Looking at a tweet here on Newsweek, posted on Newsweek's article about this situation. But apparently he issued some type of weak apology, if that's what you want to call it. But let's just take a moment. I want you to do the impossible. I want you to, good evening and hello. Thank you, thank you. I want you to, for just a moment, do the impossible and put yourself in the shoes of a fearful, good evening, servant. Have fun with that. Put yourself in the shoes of a fearful, controlled, NPC, whatever you want to call a person of this caliber, and consider for a moment what these words do to somebody that wholeheartedly believes uh, what they see and read from the news and other sources, uh, what is referred to as the mainstream narrative. Imagine someone in fear of a worldwide, or in their minds, a global pandemic. Worldwide's not good enough. They have to consider it a spinning water ball to really capture the full essence of what's going on. Um, and consider what the Delta variant of Trumpism does to someone's mind, how it going to make the suggestion that it hijacks their brain. It places, it's interesting. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Um, look at this apology. It goes right into where I was going to go with this. Not exactly, but close. My point is that playing on racial fears by demagoguing CRT furthers dangerous aspects of Trumpism, just in friendlier form, did not mean to imply that human beings are diseases. Okay. Well, I'm not sure that anybody was necessarily thinking that. Okay. But what came to my mind when I first heard this happened, this this comparison, this analogy of a Delta variant with um, MAGA or Trumpism or whatever you want to call that, there's a couple of things that came to mind. It was very interesting. First, I thought, well, that's so very irreverent to those that have are under the mindset within the frame of mind of the pandemic frame of mind, the I have lost loved ones frame of mind. This statement does so many different things. On one hand, it's irreverent to those that think that way, and don't get me the wrong way. I'm not trying to pander by any means. I just want you to consider the scope. You know, these actions, these behaviors, these statements, they have a purpose. And I don't think that, though it may seem to be directed towards one group of people, the MAGA group of people, potentially, right, just to get them riled up, it is just as plausible that it is also meant to disrupt or even further subject, destroy even the minds of those who are pandemic minded. Two ways. Two ways. One way, a a diminishing, a demoralization, a uh, a reduction of consideration. I'm trying to think of the best possible way. Not condescension per se, but mostly just the nature of not taking seriously what, from the frame of mind of a pandemic minded person, it's got to be downright insulting to equivocate a political circumstance with what appears to be something on the scale of worst case scenario, the Spanish flu, worser yet, the Black Plague, worser yet, the flood of Noah. Um, if it is possible for someone in this world to be so caught up in their mind in fear of the concept of a pandemic that they may think that this could be the end, to compare a political circumstance to loss of life is a fascinating play, is the point that I'm getting at. That's one side. And there is there's something that is uh, cruel about that. Now, I think that the other aspect here would be what he speaks to in somehow muddying the water, distorting the meaning. Um, there's there's depths to this statement of nonsense that I'm probably not going to be able um, to fully do justice. Um, the metaphor. We could think about it for a minute, though. I'll give myself a little time. I won't rush. Try not to rush. If a man being elected or selected, whatever, it really doesn't matter, could be good to see you, could be correctly, adequately, sufficiently connected analogically to look at it from the other direction, right? You've got this man who represents potentially the extension. In what way, the curiosity is, in what way is it a variant at that point if it is still, I don't know. I think that there's a spell here. I think that there's a spell here. There's some type of forced rationalization that the Delta variant and the similarities between this man and Trump are analogically connected, seeking to subconsciously validate the concept of a variant in the first place. It's there's a logical fallacy here. I can't remember the name of, but um, false equivalency is whatever the false equivalency logical fallacy is. If it has a formal or fancy name, I don't know, but that's what's going on here, and it just really indicates how rich, how deep and rich this statement is, how designed, how formulate, formulated, yeah, designed. In other words, this is a quote. In other words, Youngkin, same disease, but spreads a lot faster and can get a lot more places. So he's really seeking. Ah, yeah, I remember the other angle. This is the other angle that's actually incredibly significant for the pandemic minded, the frame of mind of pandemic thinking. Those people will now associate Trump like things with the death of their family members. It is a deep, insidious form of psychological warfare. Um, you don't see that if you're not in the frame of mind of a pandemic minded person. Maybe you do, but that's why I wanted to say something about it, is that there seems to be many layers here, and it's an attack on many fronts. It's an attack on the mind, not of Trump supporters nearly as much as it actually affects the minds of the pandemic minded. It's fascinating because I think that many people that are not, many people that are quote unquote MAGA, many people that are quote unquote Trump supporters, um, don't find themselves typically in behaving in great fear of of anything. On the other hand, we know statistically many of them, I don't know what the statistics are really comparing um, pro blue versus pro red, whatever the case. I have a feeling pro blues a higher percentage of inoculations, but doesn't matter. Same disease, but spreads a lot faster and can get a lot more places. You know what's fascinating is the programming there. That's a quote. These words were said. This wasn't somebody's high stranded. This wasn't somebody's conclusion. This was a quote. Can get a lot more places, as opposed to, they don't expect people. It's an offense in so many different ways, is my point. They don't expect people to ask questions or to consider what that means or to think critically of the statements. They get caught up in the politics of it. And I just kind of wanted to discuss the spell of it. Can get a lot more places as opposed to what? As opposed to not being able to get places, and if not, why wouldn't it be able to get places? Why would a not delta not be able to get places? This is the question. I, I don't think it's just a weak application of a poorly thought out metaphor. I think that it is more like a spell and an attack on the pandemic minded to destroy their minds, to lower their morale, and add insult to injury. That's my take. I don't know who Youngkin is, but I hear that Youngkin hypothetically uh, is the youngest member of the Illuminati to ever be governor of Virginia. And if you're wondering why I would say something like that, it's a joke, obviously. Um, his name is Young Ken, uh, which all Appalachian people and Southerners in general will understand that Ken stands for family, and Young, well, you know what that means. And we know that the Illuminati is referred to as, well, they refer to each other as the family. So you see where I'm going with that. You understand. Young, family. It's a stretch, and it's meant in jest. But what isn't meant in jest is this programming related to the concept of a disease that can go a lot faster and can get a lot more places. Prove it. Oh, but but my hospital and my morgue. I'm looking through. these articles, and interestingly enough, I received a political survey over the phone. It showed up as potential spam, so of course, I'm going to pick that up. Get my Tumgorjuteho out for the fun scam callers. And just as I was getting ready to give them the Tumgorjuteho, I heard a dude with a weird New Yorkie accent. So I was like, okay, well, let me give this guy a chance. And it was a little survey, and I was like, yeah, I'll play along. I'll play along. It's no big deal. Now I'm gonna get spam calls and text and who knows what else for the rest of my life, I'm sure, but it's fascinating the kinds of questions they ask you on that sort of thing. And listen to this. MSNBC, New York Post. Here it is, New York Post. Joy Reid, I don't know who that is, but I don't care either, called the candidate dangerous and racist. Joy Reid, whoever that is. These Republicans are dangerous. That this isn't a party that's just another political party that disagrees with us on tax policy. That at this point they're dangerous. They're dangerous to our national security because stoking that kind of soft white nationalism eventually leads to the hardcore stuff. It leads to the January 6th stuff. The January 6th stuff. What happened on. I'm going to look something up here because I think that there might be more to that too. We're going to go a little bit of a quote unquote stream of consciousness because I never do that sort of thing. January, history of January 6th. I think I started to smell another spell, and I hadn't looked into this before. I'm sure somebody has. This day in history, that's what I'm looking for. All right. So 1996, there was an East Coast blizzard, one of the worst snow blizzards in U.S. history, 20 inches, blah, blah, blah. New Mexico in 1912 is admitted into the United States as the 47th state. Okay. Uneventful. President Theodore Roosevelt. Well, New Mexico, there was, I don't know. President Theodore Roosevelt passed away on January 6th. So, whatever that's about. Babe Ruth in 1920. It's when the Yankees bought Babe Ruth. Isn't it kind of funny they use the word bought? It's kind of interesting. 1933, Calvin Coolidge. It's all about January 6th right now. I'm just trying to see if I can unlock a spell. Calvin Coolidge, 30th president, died peacefully. Okay, so two presidential deaths. Lend-Lease plan to support Britain. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the actual worst president in United States history. Franklin D. Roosevelt asked Congress to support the Lend-Lease plan to support Britain in its fight against Germany and Europe, stating the four freedoms must be supported. The act came into force on March 11th, 41, and by the end of October, $1 billion in the Lend-Lease aid was sent to Britain. Potatoes in 52. A plan was to go into effect about 2 weeks after this day. The purpose of the plan was to encourage sellers and growers to get rid of their supplies. Okay, that's weird. 61, the worst hotel blaze. San Francisco. There's a fire. Jackie Robinson retired. Hitler's car was sold on January 6th, 1973 for $153 million. That checks out. I don't know why it didn't sell for 600 million. Why 153, I wonder. I mean, 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 and 3, I don't know. Daylight saving time, 1974, commences nearly 4 months early to help in a bid to save energy during the 1973 energy crisis. That is the daylight saving time. So that's a mystery. I mean, I get it. I understand the history of it and all that, but there's something there. I'm not even going to read that one. Chrysler bailout, blah, blah, blah. Freeway killer convicted, gas tax increase, fishing war. Okay. Nancy Kerrigan was attacked. New York Knicks. Project Bojinka. Never heard of this one. I might have to add this to my list. I've got a list. A chemical fire caused during bomb making testing in the Doña Josefa Apartments complex in Manila, Philippines, leads to the discovery of plans for Project Bojinka, a mass terrorist attack to blow up 11 airliners. 11. And their approximately 4,000 passengers. This was a 1995 event on January 6th. Interesting. A 2000. Now we're getting there. We're getting there. A 2000 UK major flu outbreak on January 6th. Many hospitals being forced to cancel non-emergency surgery, blah, 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 blah. The outbreak is being blamed on the poor take-up of the flu vaccine shots. That was 2000. I've been pushing this. I mean, stuff goes on for a long time before it finally crescendos. George Bush wins on January 6th. That was the whole hanging Chad situation, if I remember correctly. Edgar Ray Killen arrested. China worst storm in 25 years. QE2, I don't know, whatever. Gas supplies affected by Russia. Witches curse Romanian government on January 6, 2011. Because the Romanian government added taxes against fortune tellers, astrologers, and witches. Okay, Romania. This is weird. Former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko, whatever, has been granted political asylum. 2012. Pakistan drone attack kills militants. Dennis Rodman visits North Korea. And DeLorean John DeLorean. That was his birthday. A lot of this stuff isn't relevant, and nothing is sticking out. Even the Bojinka thing, January 6th. I'm almost surprised there's nothing more significant for that day. Maybe there's some cryptographers that'll figure out something I missed. But I figured I'd look it up. I figured I'd cover it because they're really pushing the January 6th thing. Um, the government-funded skirmish, government orchestrated, however you want to describe it. That's it, guys. I just really wanted to come on briefly and discuss that the thing is a spell. The emergence of the Delta variant of Trumpism is a spell. It's got a lot of layers to it. And whoever this bumpkin is, not Youngkin, but Van Jones, he's just following orders. He's just doing what he's supposed to. I'm not making judgments. That's for someone else. There's a lot of weird symbolism and numbers, and when I look through these things, and I mean, 2 weeks ago there was an article right here. I don't know. Is this a legit website? Deadline.com, guys? Is this a hoax website? Deadline. They don't claim to be a hoax website. Well, anyway, Deadline.com, whatever, makes this statement 2 weeks ago, October 19th, um, that there's a new Delta Plus offshoot called AY42, maybe the most infectious COVID variant yet, and it's on the rise in the UK. I've been waiting for a year and a half for there to be a variant that will infect your email. That when you open your email, it infects you with an eternal strain of idiotitis. Idiotitis, I don't know how it would be pronounced. Anyway,
Look, first of all,
oh no, I don't want to hear that guy. I never intended to actually listen to that fella, Van Jones. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Um, and again, I don't know if Youngkin is actually in the Illuminati. Um, let's look something up. Let's do something. I'm gonna just do a little simple image search for, I don't know, what is this Youngkin's guy first name? Glenn Youngkin. Cool. Um, we'll figure it out. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, Glenn Youngkin, and then we'll just do some image searches. We're just looking for the circle and fingers or the handshake, you know, the or eye stuff or the huge because obviously people have names. You can't get away from having a name, and your name is going to be something, and you'll probably be able to find some pattern or some. This is a strong handshake. I see that right there. It's nice. It's a good one. Um, Not seeing any winky winky one eye symbolism with this guy. Looks like just a dude dying putting around on the golf course. Turn Virginia red. I don't know what he sounds like, so I can't. I'm just pretending to impersonate or whatever. Impression. Yeah, impersonate. That's it. Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know. 100 photos, 150. Um, he's hung out at the World Economic Forum. Not that that's like a surprise. I just saw a picture with him at the World Economic Forum. Don't you like how like these guys will be sponsored by like Capital One and stuff, and that's just supposed to be normal. Wow, that's a really fat person. How dare you? Um, it's amazing how much people touch each other while they wear their little napkin. Kind of weird, if you ask me. I can't find any. Can't find any with Youngkin. Whoa, kissing somebody, I suppose, his wife. Um, all right. And now what? Van Jones? Is that the guy's whole name? We'll look up Van Jones. I don't want to show. I know you're just looking at my face. You can imagine as I commentate. It's not the right word. You can imagine as I comment. Looking up Van Jones pictures now, who apparently is married to Kim Kardashian. No, I'm just kidding. Um, uh, there it is. That wasn't even hard to find. Um, Here, I'll just do this right here. All right, I'm gonna move that there. Close that. I'm gonna just do this right here, and then I'll screen. Alrighty. I mean, I looked for a good long while. If you've been watching this video, you would know I looked for a good long while for Youngkin, the alleged illuminist that is in the family only because of his last name. But I just made all that up, except I didn't make up his last name. But then this Van Jones guy is dropping WP white power 666 off of his eye. That's not that's not what he's doing. It's a coincidence. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can find it. um, so have you got a picture of him crying? Okay. He's doing a Shaquille O'Neal, doing that hard cry with the big crocodile tears, as they say. Um, oh, Jeff Bezos gave $200 million to Van Jones. That makes sense. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Um, let's see. Let's see. Hand in jacket. Not yet. Him kissing some man on the cheek. That checks out. Here's another one. Anybody know what Webby is? Well, I'll just show you this whole page because there's probably a handful on here. So we got the one eye thing going on, of course, and then there's this hand conceal. We'll just stay with that. But we've got the one eye going on there. So there's that. There's another one. That's two. I couldn't find one on Youngkin. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just couldn't find it. What kind of garbage is this? Oh, this is not the only time. Here's another one. Here is another one. I got the trifecta, guys. I have the trifecta. I've now shown three. I've now shown three times. Three times. Okay. So the more examples you find when you're doing this, oh, the doubles. Oh, the doubles. This guy is so a member. I just need to find his license plate. Then we'll see. We'll see a good old compass on his license plate. I tell you what. Here's another one. There's another one. So how many can we find? That's a lot. It's four. It's four. They're not the same, obviously. They're not the same. Man, if I could just find a good old fashioned hand in coat pocket, or hand in coat. Um, Hand in coat would be just a cherry on top. I tell you what. Can we find a hand in jacket? Okay, that's weird. Nope. And yeah, I could not find that. That would really be the cherry on top if I could, though. If anybody finds it, let me know, because that'd be really fascinating. Um, hand in jacket. I'll just search for it. You never know. No, that's not hand in jacket. Um, let's search for it a different way. You can, when you search for it directly, you can you got to find it by accident usually. Um, we'll just we'll type it in. Um, is he an actual Freemason? Publicly, I've seemed to defend the likelihood of his possible secret membership. Uh, what? What does it even mean? So he did some type of speech at a Masonic temple. Maybe that's a different Van Jones? No. No, I mean it says exactly who it is. Um, so Nob Hill Masonic Center is where he spoke. Anthony Capel is his Anthony Capel Jones. I don't know. It's not that important. I just thought it was interesting. It's not important, just interesting. Salam alaikum. I don't know that last word though. Fatigue, but but hi. I that's interesting. I was listening to Arabic earlier because I do stuff like that. But I tried to learn, um, you know, Jesus is Lord and Savior in Arabic, um, but I didn't do very well because I can't remember it now. So that's all I have, though. I really can't go any further on this topic. That was a that was a decent addressing of the issue. God's peace to those who love Him and follow Yahweh, not your way.